You know what? This is an extra today because I just want to say I am tired of this weak and powerless Christianity, of this Christianity that we seem to believe in, that many, I would say, seem to believe in, that they say they believe this word, they believe this Bible. There's a word there, Holy Bible. But then when you read certain verses or you try to pull out certain concepts, then they start calling you things like a Pharisee or a legalist or whatever. And that concept is one of the big ones, aside from repentance. I know repentance is a huge one, but one of them is obedience. If Jesus is Lord, shouldn't we obey him? And I've got this verse here, and if you notice, it's in red. And yes, I have it highlighted in red because I highlight all my love verses in red, the ones that catch me. John 14:15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. That is Jesus talking. So he is putting a stipulation there. He's saying, if you love me, all you need to do is keep my commandments. Now, we know Jesus is God. If you don't believe Jesus is God, then there's a whole nother problem there that we would have to discuss. So let's assume that everyone who's listening to this agrees that Jesus is God. Let's look at this phrase, keep and then commandments. I'm going to close my Bible. I've got a Bible app right here. And I'm going to show you what I did. I typed in keep star commandments. That star means basically anything can come between the word keep and the word commandments, generally in the same verse. And you're going to get that, an answer for that, okay? Well, here's my total. There's 43 occurrences of the words keep and commandments. Let's just go through a few of these. Exodus 16:28. And the Lord said, that's the Lord, said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments? How about this one here? And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. There's that word love and keeping my commandments in the same verse again. Therefore thou shalt shall ye keep my commandments and do them. If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them. How about this one right here? Deuteronomy 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you. Better be careful what Bible you're using, by the way. You shall not add unto the word that I command, which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. Better be careful what Bible you're using. There's Bibles that take things out. There's Bibles that add things in. Here's another one. Same as what we saw in Exodus. And showing mercy unto thousands that love me and keep my commandments. There's those words, love and keep my commandments again. Let's scroll down a little bit. Let's see what else we got. How about here in Kings? 1 Kings 8:6. Let your heart therefore be perfect with the Lord our God, to walk in his statutes and keep his commandments as at this day. Scroll down some more. How about in Psalms? People love the Psalms. I made haste, according to Psalms 119:60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments. Now there is this one in Proverbs where he's telling his son to keep his commandments. Okay, that's in Proverbs. That would be, I imagine that would be Solomon. Okay, let's go to the New Testament. People always say, well, that's all the Old Testament, therefore it's all about the law. Okay, well, let's look at the Old Testament. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? This is Jesus talking. You notice it's in red. There is none good but me, that is God, but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. There, Jesus said it again. How about John 15:10? If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. 1 John 2:3. We talked about this in our 1 John series. And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. 1 John 3:22. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. 1 John 5:2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Revelation 12:17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. That woman represents a church, by the way. And the last place it shows it in the Bible, of the 43 times it shows up in the Bible, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. So apparently, keeping God's commandments is important enough to God to put it in his word 43 times. Now I can look up the word obedience. I can switch this over here, and if I can get my mouse to work, there we go. And switch it over to, and actually be able to spell too. That usually helps. If you can spell, it really does make a difference. Switch it over to obedience. How many times do you suppose the word obedience shows up in the Bible? I'll tell you how many. 12. Oh, that's a good number. What about the word obey? The word obey? 69 times. And we can go on and on. There's obey, there's obeyed, obeyedst, obeyeth, obeying. Please, don't tell me that keeping his commandments doesn't matter. Don't tell me that the expectation that we're going to have the will to keep his commandments makes us a Pharisee or makes us legalist. If that's true, then God and Jesus himself was a Pharisee and legalist. And that would be blasphemy, because we know that's not the truth. So please, let's just give that up, and let's just accept the fact that if Jesus is Lord, if we are saved, then Jesus is Lord of our lives, and then we need to keep his commandments. Why? Not because we're good, but because he's worthy and we love him. That's why we keep his commandments.